Hello, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm so happy that you have decided to watch it. We actually told you to, so that's pretty funny. But anyways, we are making this video for those of you who want to go on our December 27th trip. We're making this video because we are not able to have our first briefing meeting because we have a lot of stuff going on for the premiere. So I decided to make this video to still get the information out to you and just give you a little bit more information. So I'm going to basically go over our typical briefing. I'm going to go over it pretty fast so that way we don't waste your time. And then I'm going to have some things at the end that I'm going to need you to do, and I want you to answer some questions for. So, first question has been, is it safe to go to Guatemala? It is absolutely safe to go to Guatemala. We fly United Airlines to the airport, and from the airport we don't even leave the airport. We stay there, we go on a little bitty plane, and we fly into Canillas, where Canillas is the main village. It's a very safe village. It is okay. So if that's one of your questions, please understand that it is safe, and we would never intend to put you in harm's way. Amen? Awesome. So second thing, we need to make sure that you have your passports. If you do not have your passports, it is cutting it close to the trip, so make sure you get your passport. Also, students that are going without parents, which I don't think there is any on this trip, so never mind that. The food and water, they are clean. We bring in bottles of water on our trips so that way we don't ever have to worry about getting sick from the water there. So water is taken care of. We have it sent from Guatemala City. The food is also sent in from Guatemala City, so the food is okay also. People have been asking, should we get shots or whatnot? We have a doctor that works with our ministry that has told us that shots are not mandatory, but if you want to get a flu shot or a tetanus shot, or at least make sure you're up to date, that can be wise, but it's not needed. It is not a mandatory thing. Another thing is we do have a clinic in the main village. Where we are, there is a clinic. So if you get sick, if you get hurt or anything, we do have a clinic in the main village that you can visit. So you are not going to be in too much danger if your health starts going downhill, which it probably won't, but we're just telling you that anyways. Emergency contact. If you need somebody to be able to get a hold of you, you can still do this. What they have the availability of doing is going to our website at theforgottenpeople.net. They go to our website, and on the website there's an area where it says contact, and then it says emergency contact, and that person can call either the number, and that will go to somebody that can get a hold of us, or they can also email us, and we'll be able to get those there in Canillas through my computer. Also, questions about fundraising. If you've not fundraised yet, or if you're worried about money, here's a couple of ideas that we have for you. Number one, support letters have always been a huge blessing in my life. Writing a letter saying, for instance, hi, my name is Kyle, I'm going on a mission trip to Guatemala, this is the work we're going to be doing, and this is how I'm asking for your help. You could do that type of deal. Another thing is company support. If you know of any kind of companies, or you have relations with those, you can ask them for support. That's always been a good thing. We also do church fundraisers, which we will possibly be able to do that at New Covenant Church, so we will send you updates about that if we have that. Another thing is support emails, so almost a support letter, but you just send it through email. And then one of the biggest things that we've done is that I've seen that is very it works well, is asking a lot of people for small amounts. So if the trip, however much it is, which ours is $1,400, you divide that up by so many people, and you could eventually just go and start asking everybody for $20, for instance, and be able to come up with your large sum of money. Okay, so that's pretty much that. Let me turn the page really quick for our trip briefing for you. Here's kind of what we are looking for in a packing list, and I'm going to send you links to our PDFs that has all this information, so you'll be good. But really quick, let me go over a couple things that you will need, okay? We ask you not to carry anything above 50 pounds per person. The reason why is because we fly a smaller plane, so you can't have a bunch of luggage. We ask you just to bring one hiking backpack that will carry all of your stuff. Here's what you need to bring: your passport, your hiking shoes. Bring some socks that are comfortable to hike in, also underwear, undershirts, one nice shirt for like a Sunday service, and then the rest can be just regular shirts, jeans, shorts, a light jacket. Sometimes it does get cold up there. Toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, soap and shampoo, a small backpack if you want to be able to carry some things there, your Bible, your journal, a camera if you want to bring a camera. We ask you to bring a towel because we bring these towels, we use them, and then we leave them there for them to use, and then extra money if you want anything extra from the trip. And then we also ask that you get a Forgotten People shirt if you have not gotten one already, because when we go in the airports and things like that, we want to wear all the same shirts so it's easier to keep track of everybody. For your prep health, we wrote kind of 6 steps down to kind of get ready for this trip. Number 1 is hydrate yourself with either Gatorade or sugar water. We've heard of people doing that, but at least 1 week before and during the trip. So 1 week before the trip, we definitely ask you, please start hydrating yourself very well, more than you do normally. Number 2, start eating healthier the week before also. Don't fill yourself up with a bunch of food that's just going to be unhealthy for you. You want to be fresh and ready to go. Another thing is cardio workouts at least 2 weeks before. The reason why we ask this is because we possibly will be climbing some mountains, and it can get difficult sometimes if you're not used to it. So not to worry, we'll always take breaks. It's a fine, you'll be okay, but it'll help you out if you start doing some cardio workouts at least 2 weeks before. Another thing is try to get a health assessment from a doctor before you go on our trips. We ask this just to make sure with your doctor, hey, am I okay with climbing a mountain for 2 hours? Am I okay going out of the country? Just to make sure you're okay. And then another thing is make sure that you bring a couple of medications with you. Number 1 is motion sickness pills, or the patches you can put behind your ear. Those usually help for the plane and buses and different things like that. Another thing that you need is anti-diarrheal medicine. So basically, sometimes being in another country, eating different foods can get you sick, and it's okay. No one makes fun of each other. We all go through it, but just make sure you bring some medicine to kind of help control diarrhea if you get it. Another thing is vaccinations. Make sure that if you have any kind of vaccinations you need or whatnot, you will be there. What to expect? Make this very quick. I wrote down a couple of things. You may expect, just like I said, stomach issues. When you eat different food out there, your stomach may react differently. I'm not trying to scare you. Rarely does it happen, but just be aware and be prepared in case it does happen, to make sure your stomach is okay. Second thing is there are, it is not like it is here where you live in a home where there's not bugs in your room. When we go there, there are bugs. It's not crazy. They're not annoying, but just to let you know, there are bugs there that sometimes are flying around in the middle of the night and different things like that. So if you're worried about bugs, try to hold yourself. You're good. All right. Third thing is climate changes. Sometimes it's warm and then sometimes it's cold. It just depends when you're there. Another thing is oxygen levels are different because as far as we go up in the mountains, the lighter the air is and the thinner the air is, and it gets harder to breathe. So just make sure that you're aware for that. We also the people will be looking at you kind of strange because they're not used right now to a lot of Americans going. They're starting to get used to the Americans now that we're bringing them, but before they're not used to us. So they're going to look at you. You're a different culture. Americans are bigger than, not fatter, but just bigger in general than the typical Guatemalan. So they're going to be looking at you. So don't, get freaked out if that happens. Another thing is it is, like I said, it's safe. There's no one there that's going to, kidnap you or all the crazy stories that you hear. You're going to constantly be with a group of us. It will be fine. Another thing is sleeping arrangements. You will be sleeping on a bunk bed. So don't think that you're sleeping outside in a teepee. That is not the truth. Okay, another thing, here's the culture of the people. I'm going to make this really fast. Number one, people are not outgoing there. You're not going to just see someone come up and hug you immediately because they don't barely know you. The culture is kind of held back a little bit. So just be aware of that. Don't go there and just start taking pictures of people because we want to respect them. It's like if somebody came into your house thinking that you're poor and they start taking pictures of you in your house, you would get offended. This is what all these people know, so please don't just go out there and start randomly taking photos. If you see myself or any of our team taking pictures, it's usually okay to take pictures. Or if not, you can ask before. Another thing is breastfeeding is there. So you can be walking around and you'll see a woman breastfeeding her kid out in the open, not covered, not anything, and that is the culture there. So please be aware of that. The people up in the mountains, they are poor, they have no money, but the one thing that you will notice is they'll have cell phones out there, so it helps them communicate. Obviously, not going to go into that. Kids are there, they're very shy. Another thing is when you're offered food up in the villages, please do not just give it away, or please do not be rude and do that. These people save for months to be able to create the meals that they want to offer us to say thank you, and it's very rude for us just to give it to somebody else because we don't like it or whatnot. Just eat slowly with us and everything will be okay. Another thing is no feeling sorry and no promises, and what I mean by that is whenever you're there and you see these Guatemalans and they look like they're in bad shape, please don't go up to them and, oh, I'm so sorry, because you don't want to offend them. And another thing is please don't make any promises when you're there. If you see a bad situation, please don't just sit there and say, we're going to give you $500 a month, when in reality you're not able to do that. Okay, so please don't do that. Another thing is whenever you're holding kids and stuff, please watch their skin. Some of these kids have rashes just because of the poor food and water that they are eating and drinking. Another thing is be aware that there are no Americans in the mountains. So when you're up in the mountains, some of these people have never seen Americans before, so be aware of that. Another thing is there are different languages. It's not just Spanish that's up in the mountains. It's also different dialects and different languages other than English and Spanish, so be aware of that. Another thing is if you want to give a personal kid more, or money or a gift, please do that in private. Don't do it in front of a bunch of other kids or people, because they're going to wonder why they're not getting the same kind of treatment. We want equal, all across the board. Another thing is their culture, they do kill chickens and they do kill pigs out in the open, and they will start eating it, and that's just their culture. It's not like Chick-fil-A where we have it done for us. So hopefully you're okay with that. Here's a couple of things and I'm almost done. We are 12 minutes into this. I'm going to make this very fast. Here is how to pay for the trip. The trip is $1,500. The trip, the reason why it is this much is because during the holiday season, the plane tickets are a little bit more. So we are asking for $1,500 for that. Here's what we need you to do. If you're raising money, please have the checks or the money orders written out to your name. Get all the money in one form. Whether you give us a check or whether you give us cash or a money order, we need it written out to the Forgotten People. We don't want you to hand us an envelope full of just different checks and things. We want one check, so please take care of that before. If you already have checks written to you for the Forgotten People, that's fine, but just try to keep it as orderly as possible. Another thing, all the money includes everything in the trip. Okay, so from the moment you get here to the church, we'll have a bus taking us from the church to the airport, and then the entire trip is paid for. The only thing that you will need to buy is if you want to buy things in Kanial, like blankets or a hammock or just souvenirs that you want to bring back, you will be responsible for that. Also in the airport, if you want anything to eat or snack on, we're also asking you to be responsible for that. But other than that, all the food, everything, the planes, the driving, everything is paid for, so please be aware of that. Another thing is how you can pay. You can pay by two ways. Number one, just giving us an envelope full of your money, or number two, you could go on our website where it says trips. Go there, and then on the very bottom of that page, it says you could click there and you could pay online through your credit card, and that's okay. Here is 5 questions I have for you, and we're done with this video. Number one, make sure, we want you to clarify that you are going. Okay, so please email us back and say, yes, I will be going on the trip. The problem is whenever people stop going, we still have a charter plane to pay for, and it's going to be more expensive for everybody else if you drop out of the trip. So if money's an issue or whatnot, please trust in God and please do fundraising to be able to go. But my first question is, are you going? Are you going to be able to go, number one? Number two, have you paid? Some of you I know have already paid us. That's fine. Just clarify that with us. But number two, can you make the due dates, which I'm going to give you these due dates here in a minute. Number three, are you okay with climbing a mountain? Do you have any health issues, or are you just saying absolutely not, I cannot climb a mountain? If not, let us know. And when I say climbing a mountain, I mean literally just walking trails. Some of it is steep, but mostly it's okay, okay? Fourth question, do you have your passport? Please let us know. Do you have your passport? If not, let me know immediately. And then number five is we have a mandatory meeting that you have to be at if you're going on this trip on December the 12th, which is, I believe, a Thursday night. Let me check that. December the 12th, it is a Thursday night. I want you to make sure that you come to that. December the 12th at 7 p.m. at New Covenant Church in the hospitality room, or you'll see some signs if it changes, but at our church. I need you to be able to go. Here's the due dates, and we are done with this video. The first due date is Friday, November the 29th. We need the first batch of money, which is $900. The reason why we need this is to already reserve the United Airlines flight. Okay, so $900 is due on the 29th, and then December 13th, that is 2 weeks before our trip. It's a Friday. The rest of your money is due. Okay, which is $600. So please make sure. Oh, sorry, $700. So the total price is $1,500. First due date is November 29th at $900, and then the second due date is December 13th, a Friday, which is $700. You could pay either physically with a envelope, bring it here to our church, or you can do it online through our credit card system. If you have any other questions, please let me know. We are going on this trip on December 27th through the 31st. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email us back. Thank you so much for watching this, and thank you.